Now I have my variables for my game. So the first thing I want to do is I want to, whenever I hit the top, I'm going to give myself a score, and I'm going to make it more difficult, I'm going to change the speed. I'm going to make it a little bit quicker. So first of all, I have to find myself somewhere at the top, and I'm going to move this one down for now. Let's move the stage, make the stage a bit smaller, and I'll move this off to the side a bit. Let's put it down over here, and I'm going to look for in control, and I'm going to select if, and I'm going to look on my motion and find my Y position of my sprite. Make sure you're on the ball and not the paddle. And I'm going to look for the Y position, and here's the Y position. So the Y position tells me where I am on the vertical axis, up and down. The X position tells me where I am on the horizontal axis. So I need to look for operators because I'm going to find out if it is greater than a number. So if the Y position of the ball is greater than approximately 157, we might need to play with this a bit later. If I'm above 157, then what I want to do is I want to change the score. So I'm going to come back to variables, and I'm going to change the score by 1. So I change that to score. So I'm going to increment that because I just scored a point. And I'm going to change the speed. So I could change the speed by 1 also. Or perhaps 2 if you want it to go faster to make it a bit more challenging. But initially we'll just change the speed by 1. So if I reach the top, I'll do that. Now what I'm going to recommend is if I go to control, I'm going to put a pause in here. And the reason I'm going to put a pause in here, and you can explore this, of about a second or half a second, is if I get up to the top and I add 1 life, what can happen is that it takes me a second or half a second to come back out of this range, and the whole time my lives are going up by 1. So sometimes what ends up happening is my lives will go up 1, 2, 3, and I have to pause a bit um, to get out of this area before I increment the score again. So I'm going to put a pause in here. You can try it without the pause and see what happens. Maybe you won't need it. Okay, so now what I want to do is when I get to the bottom of the screen, then I want to lose a life because I missed it with the paddle. So if I go past this point here, somewhere down here, then I want to decrement my life. So again, I'm going to come to control, and I'm going to do if the Y position, in fact, I can pull this one out, right mouse click, duplicate it, pop it in here. No, I can't pop it in there. What I can do is I can pull out the Y position, get rid of this one, come back to operators because I need to go for less than. So if the Y position is less than, approximately, and again, you can play with this number, if the Y position is less than approximately, say, minus 160, again, play with this, minus 160, then what I want to do is I want to grab my variable lives. So I'm going to change lives. I'm going to pop that in there, but I'm going to change it by -1. I'm not going to give myself a life. I'm going to subtract a life. And also, once again, I'm going to wait 1 second or half a second to give myself time to get out of that range, because while I'm in that range, it takes some time and my lives will be counted down too quickly. Again, you can try it without this. I'm also going to go back to events. I'm going to set a flag here. Okay. I don't want to add it to this group over here. I want to have it on its own thread. And if you wonder why, then what you could do is you could take this and you could pop it in to this loop here and find out why I want to put it on a separate loop. If we look here, I haven't yet got this on a loop, and I do want to keep checking. Otherwise, what will happen is I'll check once and never check again. So it must be within a loop, and it must keep checking for the entirety of the game, and I'll pop it in here like that. Now let's make this a bit larger and see what's happening. I'm bouncing, I get to the top, I get a score. I come to the bottom and I subtract the left. I get to the top, and if you see now I've got another score, and watch the speed. It's up to 7, it's up to 8, and it is getting quicker, and it is getting quicker and quicker and quicker. So that's fine. That's worked.